For shipping, I've got to remove the cage and the blade. Otherwise, this is easy to damage, and it's not that bad to take on or off. So this is just reverse this process and about 10 minutes worth of work. I'll have these in bags so they're all marked. So these little clips here have a little node on the bottom right there, and that goes in this bottom one. The screw goes in the top, so that goes like this, and then that just simply goes into the screw goes into the top, and the node goes into the bottom, and it pinches that cage. You might have to do a little bit of pushing up or down on it. So those are three struts that hold the cage on. And when you're putting it on, I like to put the top one on first, that way it kind of hangs. Or you're putting the other ones on. So the cage just comes right off like that. I'll put the screws that go with the struts. These are the struts, and the screws that hold the cage on with the clips that hold the cage on, so you'll know which is which. Each one gets one of these little lock washers. Next thing to do is remove the blade, which is a Allen wrench there, and the struts, and that's all there is to it. The struts come off with these screws here, and there is a difference on the struts. The top one is just a straight opposed L bracket. The bottom ones have this curve in it right here, and that curve is so when it's moving back and forth, it's got a little pocket to go into right there, and it doesn't matter which goes on which side. These two are the two bottom, this one is the top one. So these screws come out, and then there's a little pocket that these slide into. So this is the threaded part that your screw's actually going to go into, but it goes into these little slit pockets right there, that little rectangular deal. They go in just like this. So the one with the two holes is your top that holds the cage. The one with the threaded single hole goes into those pockets. The screw goes in and holds that into place. And you just do that on these bottom two, and these are the ones with the curve on it. I'll run out, let me grab a Allen wrench and I'll try to take off. Okay, so I use a T Allen wrench, but any Allen wrench will do. These just make it a little easier. So they just put the Allen wrench in there. Let me see what size that is. That's a 1/8 inch Allen wrench. And that just pops off like that. You don't have to take it completely out, but you can. And then that just slides off. Just make sure that the screw that holds the blade in place goes into that cutout. There's a cutout right there that goes into, a little notch, so that even if it isn't quite as tight as it's supposed to be, it'll catch on there. and the fan blade won't slide off. Tighten that down, give it a pretty good amount of torque on it because you want it to go into there and lock in really well. And then there's the two last struts that go there. The only other thing I'll say real quick on maintenance is probably if you use this quite a bit every season, depending on if you use it all year long or not, but if you, every season this unscrews, and then there's a wick in there, and you just drop some oil in this cup. 3-in-1 oil will work. Any kind of sewing machine oil like that will work. And then you just put that cup, don't fill it to the top or anything, but put about half full, put that on there, and the grease is all set in the back, so you're good to go for a long lot of years on that. And that's your maintenance for each season.